I've been informed and been subject to Ms. Jones's continuance to respond to council or citizen questions in a multitude of different ways. What this has created is confusion and misunderstanding within the legislative branch as well as our citizens. We have to answer the questions consistently across the council and to our citizens and to the citizenry that we have, and it's created a huge problem to the point, in some cases, it's created unnecessary ridicule and embarrassment through press releases and other venues by providing either incomplete or inaccurate information that the press or the citizens picked up. And unfortunately, I ended up with a phone call. I discussed these kind of matters with Ms. Jones over a period of time. I'm not going to go through every single complaint I had. I don't think that would be the right thing to do. But, excuse me, sir, the outbursts will not be tolerated. Okay? Thank you. The things that Mr. Jones has brought to the city, there are good points. He has gotten our economic development package in order. He's been active in the community, so there's some very good things, but one of the biggest problems that I've ran into is the most recent is the police advisory board issue that's caused a huge amount of controversy. I don't know what the reason was. My understanding of that particular thing at the beginning was that the intention was to handle that, and then when I finally began to get phone calls about it, I found the city manager taking over the whole thing, and that was a situation the council had allowed the staff to choose that particular board to keep the politics out of it. Unfortunately, it got extremely political towards the end of it. Many different stories, many different versions. I'm sure there is factual information, the truth in all of them, so I'm not saying anybody isn't telling the whole story or not telling the whole story. One of the other biggest problems is that the past year or so, actually the past 15 or 16 months, I've noticed that, I haven't noticed, I actually was brought to my attention that it was Mr. Jones had actually facilitated or added to controversial relationships with contractors and vendors. The end of this, the practice only served in some instances to result in unnecessary legal actions being brought to the city. Fortunately, those actions or instances have been resolved at this point. In the beginning of that, I had spoken to Mr. Jones and a particular individual when this was happening, and literally begged that they work out a situation that was equitable to everyone. That didn't happen. I don't know why that didn't happen. The council is charged with policy setting. The city manager is charged with the administrative side. And if you can imagine a fence being up, you're not supposed to step on the other side of it. That's basically the way our charter reads. Another thing that's brought to my attention, and I have talked to Ms. Jones about several occasions, after repeated instructions from council to focus more time on the core business principles and operational practices of the city, Mr. Jones continued to spend an inordinate amount of time fostering personally preferred projects or ideas about the core operational requirements of the city. And to clarify that a little bit, the city of Groveland is growing. We grew 19% last year, 14.7% before that. In the mid-2000s, we grew over 673%. One of the problems is we built a lot of homes. We created a demand for a lot of services in our utility department, and that includes our water and sewer, our police and fire, our parks and roads department. At that particular time, Groveland neglected to build those core foundation services that it takes to make the city grow. You cannot continue to paint old infrastructure. You cannot continue to build a city on top of a faulty infrastructure. One thing that disturbed me in our last council meeting was prior to the council meeting, the one before that, we asked that Mr. Jones bring back some kind of information or report on our cost share grants from St. John's River Water Management District. We were only funded 33%. So the additional funding the city will need to fund to do that, we're going to have to borrow money on a long-term basis in order to create these or finish these projects. The city managed report didn't reflect anything on that, so I took that as a failure to follow council direction on it. Those are some of the problems, and I've discussed all of these with them. I was contacted by the finance manager that we had a meeting set up with a financial consultant to discuss how we were going to finance and fund these as the best option. And then I was told that Mr. Jones would not be available for that. This particular matter is time sensitive. The St. John's River Water Management District only gives us a certain amount of time to reply to a certain amount of things. Financing projects of this is critical in nature. It's critical to the future of the city of Groveland. So I was greatly disturbed by the fact that wasn't even addressed whatsoever in there. There has been many occasions, and there again, I'm not pointing fingers at Mr. Jones or council or anyone else in this room. I can only restate what I've been told. On many occasions when Mr. Jones was contacted on a controversial issue or something he didn't know about, he became somewhat argumentative, and the word arrogant was used on many occasions to me, and uncooperative in trying to resolve them. You can't do that with the public. We've got to remember that we work for the public. Everyone at this table works for the public. This building is owned by the public, and every dollar we spend is your money. And partly mine too. I pay taxes also in the city. When we forget who we work for, then that creates an issue that we're not a private industry. We're in public service. It's a whole different ballgame. One of the biggest problems I've got is that we have got to respect the wishes and the needs of our public. And believe me, we get some really ridiculous ones out. We get some requests that are just absolutely impossible to do. They need to be addressed, not ignored, and or put off. I had an instance on a water flooding issue that I was made aware of. It's been ongoing for quite a long time, and a gentleman in that particular subdivision had contacted Mr. Jones and he replied from what he told me for over 260-some days. That greatly disturbed me. It's something the council's been working on. It's ongoing for 14 years. We've been working diligently on it for the last probably 3 years. That greatly disturbed me. The gentleman was quite upset, and I cannot blame him. I would have been upset also. It's imperative that customer concerns be addressed as quickly and resolved as quickly as possible. If they're pertinent, that needs to be brought to the council's attention. They should be brought to the attention during the council meeting with her phone call. If we have to read it in the press, there's something wrong, or if we get a call from the press and we find out something that we had no idea, the press is asking us for an answer. Unfortunately, with the title of mayor, I want to explain I have no more than one vote on this council, and every single council member needs to hear this. So normally people call the mayor, and the mayor doesn't have an answer because the mayor hasn't been informed correctly, and that creates an extremely embarrassing situation. It's these kind of things. The city manager's job is primarily to operate the day-to-day businesses. It's not to be on the policy side of the equation. It's to keep the council informed and to operate the council's direction and enforce the ordinances that the council puts in place. In a lot of cases, Mr. Jones wasn't familiar with the ordinances, and understandable because he did come from a different state. Rules are different in every state, and I was sincerely hoping that he would familiarize himself much better than what he has in the the customs of Florida law and with our particular city charter. So with that being said, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go around the table and I'm going to ask the council, and then I'm going to ask Mr. Jones how he wants to address these particular issues, and then I will ask for public comment. And again, please be respectful with public comment. We normally limit to 5 minutes, and for late hour we'll try to limit to 5 minutes, but I'm not going to cut you off at exactly 5 minutes. If you're almost done, I will allow a few more minutes for that to happen, but we're certainly not going to have everybody at the podium for 20 or 30 minutes on the matter. We'll be here until tomorrow. So with that, I'm going to start with Mr. Smith. Would you care to start?
I would abstain. I would abstain.
Mr. Wilson? I want to go last. But I will make a statement. I've brought things up over the last 18 months and tried to, I went numerous times into City Hall, speak to Mr. Jones to tell my concerns, and it pretty much went on deaf ears. And I tried different ways to do it, to let him know. I had even suggested towards the beginning that he meet with other city managers and other officials from other cities to get an idea. And I even spoke to some of them, so like open the door for him. It was not done. There were numerous things over and over again, like you had mentioned, that had been brought to his attention about attending late to meetings and appointments, which I even heard today again. It's gotten to the point that, except for brief little things, I don't talk to staff at all anymore, and I'm still working on quite a few projects that I have brought to the city, but I continue to reach out, and I get my information from the county, from the Metropolitan Planning Organization, from different cities. I get the assistance there, which to me is very unfortunate, where I look at it, if I could do it with the staff here in the city, I'd probably get a lot further with the different projects I'm working on. I'm beginning to feel that I'm causing problems, and I have heard, because I have always gone out of my way not to put anybody under the bus. I don't do that names. But even today I heard that Mr. Jones has complained that I work on projects without involving the city. And I believe every one of you know that everything I do, before I do anything, I come to the city. And at the council meeting, I tell you who I spoke to, what they are, and how you feel about it. And to me, that is a gross insult to me. I think that's enough for now. There are plenty more things, but I don't want to continue because I don't know what you're looking to get from this meeting. Thank you.
Mr. Griffin, would you please comment on anything?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to say, go on YouTube, there's a site called the Golden Four. I'd just like to inform the audience that you will see me in this film documentary. It was done about 10 years ago. And the comments I made was pertinent to 3 young black men who was accused in a kangaroo court of raping a woman. I hear him in 2015, and I'm sitting here listening at hearsay. Someone called me, someone did that. But I just want to let you know that I've been around a long time. There's a lot of things I heard before, and now, 2015, here it is that element or atmosphere has popped up again. And what I'm saying is, the city manager, a young man that started out on the job, that will make mistakes, and I'm sure there's someone in the audience to verify that young man is doing the best he can. And also I'm going to let you know that I am for him staying here through his expertise, experience, that he will learn his job, and that city staff and anyone involved, we can all get along. But I just want to let you know, you two, the grown-up board, and what I'm witnessing here, the people back in 1949, a lot of them is dead and gone. Well, we got people here today picking their place. They might not be governor, but they got the same killer, kangaroo type spirit going on today as it was back in 1949. And that's all I got to say, Mr. Mayor. And God bless America.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. Mr. King.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, and those present in the audience. You know, I've been kind of perplexed all day because my mind been going 1,000 miles a minute trying to figure out why are we here tonight. Because I was floored Monday night when that announcement came out, probably like a lot of other people on this council, but they're not going to say anything. But I'm not going to sit here and be a part of a kangaroo court on a bunch of hearsay stuff. Now, I don't believe there's not a person sitting in this audience that don't have some faults. And somebody haven't reached out and given advice. Now, I've been on this council before, a lot of them sitting on this council now. And I've seen a lot of things come through this city. And I've made some tough decisions, and I've suffered the wring of it. But I will not sit here and be silent to be a part of what I'm witnessing is here today. Because we sat here 2 years ago and interviewed individuals to be the next city manager and move the city forward. And we interviewed several individuals. And Mr. Jones was not the initial individual selected for obvious reasons, but he was one of my first selectees. But God has a way of making things right. And I believe that I've heard a lot of hearsay stuff since I sat at this table in the last 10 minutes. I've been here through the interviewing process, through all of the meetings that have taken place since Mr. Jones took this position. And I want to let all of you sitting here tonight know. Now, I've listened to all the rest of them saying, well, I've received phone calls. I have to this day received one phone call, not one. Now, you explain to me, I'm a member of this legislative body just like everyone else, and why haven't I received a call? If Mr. Jones is that bad, as these accusations I'm listening to and complaints? Why is it only tailored to selected council people? I'm going to answer for this before I leave this place tonight. Because these individuals making these accusations, apparently, they just don't want Mr. Jones as city manager. And I'm going to say a little bit more than that. I've been here on this council and participating in this local government, in this community, since the very first city manager in this community. And I've seen him retire, and I've seen every other city manager after him come in here and serve. And when they come confronted with some displeasure or don't see eye to eye to selected council members or citizens, they just don't stop digging and digging until they get them to give in and move. That is poor. Now this is coming from me. That is poor leadership, poor decision-making process, because I just don't believe all these accusations. Furthermore, I'm not a dumping ground for anybody's accusations. And I'm going to give you a good example. Good examples. Now, I've seen we as adults, this is not an elementary school, a middle school, a high school, or a parochial school. We are consenting adults. We make decisions, and then when you actually carry it out, then you complain about the decision you made. Now, I've got that same email that the mayor was talking about this police department advisory committee. And I was agreeing like everyone else. But Mr. Martinez didn't call me. He didn't call anybody else on this council, I don't believe, but if they did, they would have said something. But he called me. It leads me to have to wonder why. You know, I'm sick and tired of all these accusations and dragging this community name through the mud to make this community and citizens look like Groveland is a bad place to live and work. That is just absolutely untrue. And I think the people that is involved in it, if they have any courage or intestinal fortitude, they would come forward and express these ideas. Because it's just not one. I absolutely think that it is a charade of citizens just don't want whatever city manager that comes to this city. Guess what's going to happen, citizens? When the city manager do not bow to their demands and needs, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do the same thing that they're doing now. They're going to do the same thing that they've done previously. They're going to do the same thing to every city manager. And I'm tired of it. Because these people are human beings just like us. They got a purpose and a goal in life. They want to accomplish things. But what? A few people get upset because they want them to do not what they think is in the best interest. They want people sitting on this council that is puppets. And I'm here to tell you all, I'm not your puppet. I'm a citizen out here involved in this community and have been involved in this community for over 25 years. And you have never heard me complain, and you won't hear me complain. Because that is not part of my character. I'm not like some citizens that seek elections, get in these positions, and then talks out of both sides of the mouth. It just does not make sense. And some of you sitting out in this audience, you are the corporates. Okay? I'm going to be known. This stuff is going to stop. I've got children living in this community. I got grandchildren living in this community. And I'm not going to have my children exposed to some debacle like this. Here we are, we open up this community building, we get people come in here to participate in government, and what do? Turn them away, make them sick in their stomach, because here we are, grown folks acting like little children. It's sickening. Now, if you want to be a part of that, Paul, you sitting out there, then you can be a part of it. Yes, I'm up for re-election. You can vote for me or against me, but it's not going to change me, because I'm not a part of people that's always looking for the dirt, but yet they come up and walk around you and parade that I'm this and I'm that. You know, and it's just downright sickening. I'm not trying to persuade any of you, but I'm telling you, I'm just sharing with you what I know. See, you're on the outside. I'm on the inside. A lot of this stuff that we're here tonight for, and I believe that some of you are getting information from inside, not from outside. Because I've heard things come from this floor that this council haven't even heard of. Now you tell me how it gets out to the public. You tell me. Now, they got anybody here for this kangaroo court this evening. And we're going to sit there and make some decision. Mr. Jones going to talk, anybody else want to talk. But when the audience come up here and talk, you decide what is facts and what is fiction. Because a lot of things that I've been hearing, all this hearsay stuff, that's just what it is, hearsay stuff. You know, I eat grapes, but I don't listen to the grapevine. Some of you, that's all you want, that's all you live for and breathe for. It's just to tear people's character down, good people, and throw them under the rug, and throw them out to the wolves. You know, we got over 10,000 citizens in this community. Somebody from somewhere going to come here and going to apply for a position. And you think, do you want them working for you when you got corporates sitting out here, all they're doing is conniving, trying to make somebody look bad? I'm sick of it. You can make your own decisions. But adults don't make decisions like that, like this. You know, Mr. Martinez made a decision. He should have lived by it. He shouldn't have to call the mayor. That was administrative function. I don't know why it was brought up in the council meeting, but it wasn't political. They keep saying it made political. It wasn't political. If it was political, it was between chief, city manager, and the candidates that was being involved. Now now you tell me, how did that get political? Council had no role to play in that appointment of these committee members. But now we're here tonight because I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back, to give you some footing to bring this out in public. And I'm not going to sit here and stand for it. To see us try to drag an innocent man and his family through the mud, trying to do it good. He's doing what everybody else did. He got a job. Now, when you hire somebody for a job, then they got some latitude. City manager. As a city manager, you got an unlimited span of control. Nothing in that job title tells you or says to him that he got to tell you which job, when, where, and who he talking about. Now you make your own decision. You got a job. Some of you are business owners. Some of you are supervisors. Some of you are managers. But I bet you your manager don't micromanage you, come down, look over your shoulder, tell you, I want you to do this that way, now, and I want it done, then the next hour. It just don't happen. Now, you make your call. Now, it's almost at 9 o'clock. Now we're here. I enjoy my job, I enjoy what I'm doing, but I also like to enjoy quality time with my family, like anyone else. And I think that somebody evaluating the city manager for what? On hearsay accusations. When you show me the truth in all of this, then I will believe it. Black and white. That's all I got to say, Mayor.
Mr. Jones, would you like to address the council on any of the items that were brought up tonight? And this is Smith on this particular thing. The purpose of this, and to correct Mr. Smith, it is not a annual report, it's to evaluate a situation that is escalated to a point that we need to address it. And we need to correct it. That is the point of this. It's not a trial, we're not judges and juries. It's a simple matter that we've got concerns that need to be addressed. Unfortunately, we have to address them in public meetings. That's what the Florida state law requires us to do. It's awkward at best to have to do that, but unfortunately, we have no other venue to do this. We can do it one-on-one, and it doesn't solve the problem, because the best way to resolve anything when you have disagreements is get all the people in the room and sit down and talk about it. And that's what the purpose of this meeting tonight is. I just wanted to clarify that. Please.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, thank you for everyone who is taking the time out of their lives to come in and partake in this public process. I also like to thank my wife, because frankly, I wouldn't be able to be here right now without her and her understanding. Frankly, she's given up tons of time with her husband because I am so dedicated to this organization. That being said, being city manager has been a privilege for me. It's a very challenging job. I have to work with a lot of different personalities, and that's just within the organization. I had an opportunity to come on a year and a half ago. One of the first things that I had to deal with was attack on the police chief, very first day. And I didn't know what to expect. I knew one thing, one of the toughest things about being a city manager is having a good relationship with your police chief. I got a chance to work with Chief Tennyson, and it's been a blessing to work with him, absolute blessing. I brag on how advanced in thinking and willingness to open up to changes. It's been a very good working relationship. I had an opportunity to also learn and work with our utilities and public services director. We got a chance to introduce to this community a technology that this community has never seen. It's already saved this community several $1,000s. Had also opportunity to work with our fire chief. I like to think of him as our rock of our organization. He's been there. Haven't had a lot of projects, but when we did, we thought we would explore an idea of trying to get a new fire station in our Commerce Park, because frankly, it's unprotected. Any major event happens at our Commerce Park, we don't even have a ladder to get to certain areas because of our limitations in the fire department. We went out, we took a look at the opportunity that we thought might prevail itself by utilizing having a fire station and breaking down the ISO ratings, which is affecting the insurances of these industries there, and hoping to use that savings to help broker a deal for a fire station there. It hadn't panned out as of yet, but the chief was there to explore new ideas, and we got a chance to meet all the business community up there. That's important, being able to look at new ideas and pursue them. If they pan out, then great. If they don't, then it's the journey, the expression that this community is different, that we're constantly looking at ways to improve. Got a chance to also learn and work with my finance director. Again, when I came on board, she was under attack. We even had to conduct an audit just to see if the rumors were true. We spent time and hours and hours and money, taxpayer money, chasing down rumors. Wasn't true, of course. She's been an outstanding financial advisor for this community and our management team. We had community development, prime department in a growing community, prime. We had a young lady there that passed away, unfortunately, in the midst of this prime growing season. We didn't lose a beat. I had to step in for several months to take that role as well as the city manager role, and then actually a fledgling CRA with very little direction at the time because that had a vacancy. All at the same time, not losing any of the opportunities and slowing down the growth that this community has had. And now we got a young man that's very bright, committed, and he came to this community not for money, but because of me. That gentleman also is accompanied with another competent man to help our CRA, which again was left without any direction, without any documents were gone when I got on board. No precedents were left on how things were done at all. It was in an absolute disarray. And frankly, the reason it was because of the political environment that it was going on at the community, at the city at the time. But we were able to bring in key people and get those things situated, and they're getting better and better every single day. Then I have an opportunity to work with the council. Ms. Wilson, she will pride herself that she was one of the votes that brought me on board, and she was. She's probably got more passion for the city than anyone on the city, in the city. But it has been a challenge to try and get her to work within the team. And it has been a challenge to try and keep her on a path that will include staff. That has been a challenge. But every council person has their benefits and have their challenges. And that's part of being city manager anywhere. Trying to find ways to work through those attributes. Ms. Sweat, she has extremely compassion, probably one of the most compassionate members on council. And she also gives to the community on activities and things of that nature. She's very passionate in that. I try to facilitate that everywhere we go. Of course, we got rules and challenges and paperwork, unfortunately. There's liabilities. But I've never said we can't do it. It might have to slow it up a little bit so that we can go through some of the paperwork, of getting our flagpoles and doing the things that we have to do, but that's part of it. And there's a patience that, especially when new elected people come on, they want it to happen tomorrow. And frankly, government moves slow for a reason. It's the process. You gotta weigh those things. You gotta understand those things, and it is a protection of the taxpayers' dollars. She's worked through those things, and I think she's getting stronger every day. Mayor, you've been extremely active with water. I think the challenge is that there's a lot of trust that has not been brokered. Surprising to me, looking at the amount of time that we spend together, because we're constantly going to meetings and doing those things, and I've only heard good things about how it feels for other people dealing with the city, seeing the city manager and the mayor working together. I don't know, I don't hear this other side that you're talking about. Mr. Griffin has been a special person to the council. I've missed his presence, and frankly, in a way, he's brought a lot of the working relationship that we have had, as strained as it's been, has frankly been a lot through Mr. Griffin's presence. Since he's been gone, the council has splintered even more. Miss that. Mr. Smith is a very wise man. He also seems to bring wisdom at key moments when the council deliberates. He gets his reports weekly, we have phone calls, he's comfortable with where we're moving, and he doesn't feel like he has to come down to City Hall all the time. That's his approach, and I respect that, just as well as I respect everyone else's approach. They cannot all be the same approach, and I constantly am trying to communicate. You can't expect your fellow council members to be the same way. It just cannot happen. What, as a team, and I've always said this, we need to work at is once a decision goes a certain way, it does not behoove the team that you work behind the scenes to undermine it, to try and change it, to do things to stall it. That is not what is conducive for a team. I'll take an example for the Economic Development Incentive Program that frankly took us 6 months to do. Should have taken 1 month to do. We got fought every step of the way, and frankly, it was a city council person that was behind half of the things that were happening. This hurts our efficiency. It's hard to keep our team together as a staff when decisions are constantly being changed, undermined, and stalled. But it is part of the reality of being in the public works